Hey guys, today we're doing a little bit of boat rigging on Nathan's new boat. You can see, Nitro Z-9. Basically, the person had some units, Lowrance stuff, but we got to put in a NEMA network, we got to install live scope, kind of get some things the way Nathan wants it. So kind of got things torn apart right now. I figured we'd show just a little bit of kind of how we go about it. We're pretty particular on how things look and the overall setup, ease of use. And we want it to be very reliable. So here's this battery compartment. We got batteries taken out. Trying to figure out what they had going on is always a joy. Find out this is just a jumper switch, basically, that went from the trolling motor battery to the starting battery if you ever had to jump it. He's got his power pole pumps in here. That looks pretty decent. It's got a charger. And here's what we're using as a fish tape because all my stuff is up at the lake right now. So we're using that, just a piece of wire. But basically we're gonna have to run a NEMA cable and his live scope stuff from back here all the way up front. Kind of like how it's installed in his last boat and my boat, up here to the front compartment here. So this is just kind of, a little layout of doing the dirty work on the boats. We got the front compartment here all torn apart. He's got his nice Lowrance Ghost trolling motor. That's going to be awesome.
We're about in the middle of it. We got all of the splices connected and the new power cables run. And we also got the NEMA run again. I'm missing a couple cords that come in the mail tomorrow, but we got ropes pulled in for that, so I can make that easy. But yeah, so as you can see, it's just a scattered mess everywhere. Austin and I spent quite a few hours working on this thing, just rerunning wires, running live scope again, installing a NEMA network. Definitely a big upgrade for me from my 1995 Nitro 2000 DC to just this Nitro Z9. An extra foot of boat, added a graph at the dash, and I actually upgraded my Lowrance up front because now I have the Ghost trolling motor, and to be able to use all of its capabilities, I needed to get at least a carbon or a live unit. Like I said, this is the new Ghost, and it's new to me. I've never had a trolling motor with spot lock before, so I'm super excited. I added a strap so this doesn't wobble so bad going down the road. My perspective mount for my live scope, followed with plenty of slack and all the bends. I have separated the cables to prevent any hard or harsh turns or bends on the cables that could damage the transducer cable. The Lowrance Ghost has its own internal compass, which hooks to the trolling motor so it knows direction. So a couple of things that I added to the boat that did not exist before. The guy had a raised 3.5 inch riser for his single unit, and I knew I was going to run 2 units, live scope and a Lowrance up front. So I knew I had to make a change, so I elected to go this style. This is actually a 7-inch riser from Straight Up Mounts, and this is the dual plate that goes with it. It's very sturdy. I'm excited to see it in action. Gives me plenty of clearance with the foot pedal, and I'll have no problems with that. So really cleaned up my wires here to the front. That was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but after a little bit of finesse work, I was able to make it look nice and clean. Here at the dash, originally there was a 9-inch Generation 2 all touch. I took that out and I ended up selling it and put in my 9-inch Gen 3, just kept the newer unit, and obviously my 12 on my ram mount right here. So that's pretty much the exact same setup as I used to have. Come up front, get a better look of the front from overall, from the top view. I got the buttons for power poles in the back, 2 8-foot blades, and rod straps, pretty much identical to what I had before. Was already there. Something I really love about this boat is the amount of storage it has. Still gotta throw my rods in, but 2 incredibly large rod lockers, which have tons of room. And in this locker, I have my structure scan mounted, and I also have my live scope box mounted up as far in the front as I could. and tried to tidy up all my wires the best that I could so they'd stay out of my hair. This is how I have set up right now for my tackle. I pretty much have all of my boxes on one side. And right now, with it being winter, I have all my swim baits and A-rig stuff on the other. The front storage, I just got dock lines and rain gear and pretty much everything I need cold weather wise. And obviously, as the seasons change, I'll change what goes in the boat. But kind of how I have my setup right now. Also new to me, built-in cooler. Super excited about that. No more lugging a cooler around. And a little trash receptacle because boat used to just get trashed, and at the end of the day, pick it up on the bottom of the floor. Not to say that still won't happen. 2 storage bins that I didn't even notice until I started watching videos on it. This is gonna really act as like my dash storage because I don't have a passenger console. I could get one if I choose, but don't really plan on getting it anytime soon. So I'll be storing wallets, phones. I got my scale in here. And that's nice and tucked away. And flashlights, toilet paper, always good to have. The magnetic plier holder, scissor holder, anything you can get that's magnetic. Got some scissors and my pliers, and the magnets are very strong, so I'm excited to see how that fares. Got my live wells with my calling systems clipped off. I think right now I have some of my wife's fishing stuff and my crappie box back here. Both sides are the same. They are removable, and you can store stuff underneath. I would also like to point out that I put my 0.1 antenna for the rest of my units underneath the deck. I didn't have a good spot that I liked on the back of the boat without it sitting a little funny or being on the carpet in a spot that I didn't really like. So after some research, reading on Bass Boat Central, mounting it beneath the deck, as long as there was no metal in the way, they said that fiberglass and composite and plastic did not bother it. So you guys have to let me know if you've ever done anything like that, or I'll have to get back with another video and let you know how it works, or if it doesn't work. I really like the bolt and washer and wing nut that they have set up for a spare prop for keeping on your boat, because my other boat, it just flopped around in one of the front bins, and I really didn't like that. So back here in the battery compartment, I gotta say this is something I really enjoy and really like, are these 2 removable trays that are light, but great for extra storage, towels, fuel treatment, just a couple of things that I keep, and they just sit up front, or they sit up top, lift them out, and all the access you need for your battery compartment if you got to get back here. You can see the C-Star switch that we installed. We actually installed another one over there, and then you'll see another switch below it, and that was actually already in here. And it took us a little while to figure out exactly what that switch was, and we had thought that it was a switch just for jumping the boat off of the trolling motor batteries, and actually it's a switch for the motor to separate it itself. So in order for this motor to run or have power going to it, I have to switch it over to all, and the switch on the left is, and the switch above it is my switch for all of my graphs and live scope box and everything that's separate. And this switch is just for my trolling motor, completely separate. So at any time I have all the switches off, there is nothing pulling any power to drain anything on my batteries. I have my charger down there, and it's really a pretty clean setup. Took a little bit of time and rerouted wires the best that I could and tried to clean things up the best that I could to keep it as clean as possible back here. Also an upgrade for me. I used to have a 225 Mercury, and now I got a 250, and this is also a 2012 motor that came with the boat. There's 328 hours on the motor, so for a 10-year-old boat, I figured that's really not too bad. I'm running a Tempest Plus 25 pitch 3-blade prop, and as long as it performs, I think that's what I'm going to run with after reading quite a few forums on Bass Boat Central. That's kind of what I've come to conclusion, what people are saying is the best to run with this style boat. If you run with something different, let me know and let me know what you think of it. And I'll listen to your opinion before I go ahead and buy a backup prop. Swim ladder off the back. And I really do like this compared to my old boat. The plug into the side. Again, I know a lot of people have a lot of this stuff, but it's new to me. So, and another thing that I have is a 10-inch manual jack plate, which I did not have before. All the trailer lights and reverse lights are LED, super bright and great, and upgraded to the retractable trailer straps. I did not have that before, and that came along with it also. Back here on the power pole, you can see I have a light mounted for my navigation at night when I'm fishing. I have the lights in the main line, and they light up great, and they look super good and super clean, so no more messing around with sticking lights where I used to. I had a lot going on trying to figure out everything to fine-tuning different things on my graphs, and I had some problems with my 0.1 antenna. I want to go ahead and state that earlier in the video you saw me mount it underneath my deck. Even though I read that it would possibly work, I'm here to confirm that it will not work. So I had to take that out, and I had a hard time calibrating it. And then I didn't have the tools I needed to screw it down onto my deck, so now I'm going with a different alternative for that. But I just wanted to reiterate that under the deck of my boat is not going to work. There's too much magnetic interference, because that same corner where that puck is mounted is where all of my power for my graphs and comes through. So with that, I'm just gonna mount it up top now on the back, and I should be good with that. My front unit, the transducer, did not sync with the Ghost. I couldn't find it on the source, so I got to look into that some more. If nothing else, I'll add my old HDI transducer back, and then that'll be good to go. My Lowrance Ghost little arrow that points which way you're going was a little sticky, it seemed, when I spun, so I might have to take that apart and see what I got to do with that. So yeah, really just the small quirks and things that I got to do just to completely perfect the boat how I want it. Overall, the boat ran great, very powerful, strong, good hole shot, and I was very pleased with how it went, and I think it's going to be a great boat. It's got a couple more things to tweak, so unfortunately I wasn't able to capitalize on any good serious fishing today. So hopefully we can get out with another video soon on some more fishing, but until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.